Greetings, Christopher J. here once again for another episode of Gnomes Newcomers, where we find out the real reason why people are moving to South Dakota. And as a fellow Gnomes Newcomers myself, I'm always blessed to be joined with like-minded people like I am today with Bethany. Bethany, welcome. You are a Gnomes Newcomer from California, and you got a great story to tell, so let's just jump right in. Let's go back to 2020 and just tell our viewers a little bit about your business back in California, where it was located proximity-wise to like a big city like LA, and talk to us about what happened there.
Well, I had a business in the mountains. It was about 45 minutes, an hour north of LA. So we were actually on the border of LA and Kern County.
Okay.
And when the pandemic happened, literally like everything was shut down. Within probably a week, we had to shut it before we even knew anything. And then shortly after, I would say about a month later, I get a letter from the beauty board, not from any sort of judicial system, the governor, from the beauty board, saying that they had orders from the governor that all beauty salons need to shut down, and that if I stayed open, they could pull my license and I'd never be able to practice in another state again. Total communist,
And that's
stuff.
your livelihood. And you also had employees, and they had families.
And they were all booth renters. So, I mean, we all pretty much made our own income in there. And a couple of them, one of them was a single mom. The other one had 2 sons. So.
It did seem to bother Nancy Pelosi when she went to a beauty salon.
That made me so mad.
Hypocrisy, that's all they had.
Yeah.
So let's talk now about your husband, too. He was laid off because of this communist approach by Governor Newsom as well. What was going on with him?
Well, everybody pretty much, we were all ordered to shut down. The only thing that stayed open was like liquor stores, Walmart. But with the construction industry, they stopped building houses. Everything just came to a standstill with no hopes of opening anytime soon. I ended up, some other salon owners had a meeting with county officials, and we were like, when can we open back up? And this was in June. It was June 1st. And they said, it's indefinite. We don't know. It could be next month. It can be next year. So at that point, we had to make a decision, my husband and I, because we have to work.
Exactly.
You can't live off of unemployment.
Well, in addition to being an entrepreneur, you are a wife, obviously. We'll talk about your husband, and you're a mom. Mm-hmm. So, this country is for pro-family. Mm-hmm. But sadly, we go to certain states, and it's just, it's flat out communism. Mm-hmm. Let's dovetail that concept of communism right here in America. Describe for our viewers the apocalyptic scenes that you went through and saw right around that LA area.
It was really bad. So everything would shut down that was allowed to be open, like the Walmarts would shut down at 5. I remember being in the parking lot the first time I found out they were shutting down early.
5 p.m.
5 p.m. still daylight out. And they had these PA systems in the parking lot. It was like a dystopian sci-fi movie saying, please make your way to your vehicle. And it's like this robot sound too, totally inhuman. And then they would board up the Walmarts at night because BLM would be coming out and rioting and destroying Antifa. And it was happening all over Southern California. It wasn't just LA.
BLM and Antifa taking advantage of.
Oh yeah, and if you had anything supporting the Republican Party or conservatism on your vehicle, you got flipped off. I was yelled at in front of my children with slurs being thrown out. And
that's not America, is it, Bethany? Isn't that disturbing? That's not
like
America.
No, third world country status. Yeah.
But now, gladly, let's talk about where you can still find America. Mm-hmm. South Dakota, USA. Yes. What brought you and your family to this great state where you can still find America?
we literally looked up, we had stipulations, and the top of the list was schools, conservatism, least amount of regulations during COVID, and we wanted to find the state that held on to those American values, the Constitution, as much as possible. And we were watching Fox, and we started seeing these commercials. I mean, we had been looking, and Christine Olm, she just kept coming on these commercials saying, come to South Dakota, visit South Dakota. And she's just an amazing governor. We love her policies.
Give us a few examples of how it's day and night difference between here and California.
Well, she gives you personal responsibility to make your own decisions. So in California, you weren't allowed to. You were like a child to the state there. Total socialism takeover, which I don't think a lot of people realize now, but socialism was started by the neo-Nazi party. and Mussolini. And I'm like, so why are we wanting that?
It's a whole other topic. I know, but sadly it's real.
I know.
People need to know
I know. Yep. And then here, you know, she allowed businesses to stay open. It was very business friendly. You know, she let people have personal responsibility. She didn't mandate the masks. In California, you could get ticketed for not wearing a mask in public. You know, and we felt like we needed to move to a state that had a governor like that was going to hold tight to what the Constitution says. You know, limited federal government. You're free as a person as long as you're not harming other people to do what you want.
Exactly. It's not like you guys made a knee-jerk decision. You researched like 20 states, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. We researched several states. Yeah, we researched all the policies in those states. COVID was a big thing.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
So now, thanks to the support and pro-business ideology of our wonderful governor, you have a beauty salon here now in South Dakota. Husband's working again. Your children are back in school at a lot better education system than there, and indoctrination, education, and the choice is clear. So great. We wish you the best here in South Dakota as well, to a fellow Gnomes newcomer. And thank you for sharing your story with us, Bethany.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. There you have it, folks. The choice is clear. Communism, freedom. Thanks to Governor Gnome, we err on the side of freedom. Thanks for watching, Gnomes Newcomers. We'll see you again soon.